Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's my guy knows a guy on the SportX Insights YouTube channel. It's NBA betting today, the live stream. Yesterday was a great day in the sports world all around. The NBA was really, really exciting. And it's all the more exciting when you cash, when you make some money. So we're going to get started on today's schedule. I did drop a short video last night on the YouTube channel with 2 picks. Shout out to everyone that had notifications on the channel and watched it. Whether you're with the pick or not, let's try to get some more money today and continue our profitable mission. We're on a rampage in the month of February across all sports. Let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. I'm going to pull up some odds and recap some of the picks that I shared last night, see if anything changed, and see if there's any more value to unearth for today's schedule. So it's going to be really interesting. Let's see how it goes, and just give me 1 second while I share something. What a day. I told you guys, we covered by 1 point. It doesn't matter as long as you win. But I told you I was going heavy on the Spurs. Didn't even play around. When you know, you go. All right, that's done. So all right, cool. Yeah. So we do have an early game today, early tip-off game. I'm pretty sure it's rescheduled from earlier in the season when the COVID outbreak was happening in December. I'm not exactly sure, but it is a abnormally early game. The Boston Celtics on the road against the Detroit Pistons. The Celtics are up to -12.5, -12 at places. The total is going up just a bit. It's up to 216.5. I bet the under at 215.5. Obviously, the market went in the other direction, but that's been regularly happening. And then the outcome has been the exact opposite of the movement with Boston Celtics games on their totals over the last 15 games. This is partially a situational play for me. And we do have recent evidence between these two teams, the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons, recent head-to-head history. As we know, the Pistons upset the world right before the All-Star break. They took these guys out. I think the Celtics are going to come in here and smother these guys today. I'm not sure about laying that amount of points on the road. It is telling, but we do have an early game. The Celtics have gone. Let me just actually pull up my notes. Yeah, the Celtics have gone under on the road 61% of the time this season. When they're a favorite on the road, they've gone under 67% of the time. The Detroit Pistons are a team that I believe are unsustainable offensively in terms of their production after wins in particular. And now, lo and behold, they're coming off of 2 wins. That goes against everything we believe about the Detroit Pistons and what they've shown us about their intention this season. The damage may be done in terms of them, securing a top draft pick, but the bottom teams in the NBA are greedy when it comes to these draft picks. They want another number 1 pick. Do not let them fool you. The Celtics have been on an absolute rampage on the road. I think it's going to be pretty difficult for this Detroit Pistons to score 100 points in this game. Let's see who the early start benefits. I'm not laying 12.5 on the road, but I'm pretty confident in the under here, under 215.5 for me. I like under 216.5. Let's see how it goes. I'll pull up some more stuff about this game as well. We'll talk about this a little bit more because it is the early game. Just get the injuries. Oh, crazy announcement next week too for everyone. It's it's just it's a natural progression of things. A natural progression of things. Big announcement next week. We'll talk about the Raptors and the Hawks as well in a second. Should be a very interesting game. All right, so nothing out of the blue for the early game. When you see dramatic line movement like that, it's pretty much the public piling onto the Celtics. Such a beatdown as this team is putting forth. They've completely bought into Ime Udoka's system on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. This team started out the season decently defensively, but it was inconsistent due to health. This team has found a strong balance, and it's partially due to health. Health and continuity are everything in the NBA. This Celtics team projects very well going forward. I think that they're going to stifle this Pistons team. It's very difficult for this Pistons team shot 47% in Boston. When you look at their last 10 to 15 games, that was their best shooting performance. It was an anomaly for Detroit Pistons games as well. That's crazy. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the game between the Pistons and the Celtics. I look for a more particularly what my part of my handicap is the interior defense as well. You know, I went back and watched that game between the Pistons and the Celtics. The Pistons were able to win outright without even getting to the free throw line. This Celtics team was still disciplined that night. I believe the sour taste in their mouth from having that being the only recent blemish on their record, both straight up and ATS, will give them added motivation to have more defensive, to increase their defensive intensity today. So that's definitely my handicap in that game. Let's go with the Celtics and the Pistons under. And I did bet a bit less on that one than the second pick I'm going to share on the live stream. And once again, there's a second video on the channel. It's a bit shorter, but it has more thoughts on both of these picks. But I'm gonna break both of them down, including the rest of the games: the Hawks versus the Raptors, Wizards versus the Cavs, Nets versus the Bucks, Kings versus the Nuggets. Two of these games I want to deploy props in for tonight, but I'm going to wait just one more game, and we're going to hit the ground running just like before the All-Star break. I need for each of these players to have about a game or two under their belt, and we're going to return to business. Someone asked me in the chat, why is the total moving up for the Celtics? Well, you know, when you look at, I'm giving them accolades for their defense, but they have found balance on the offensive side of the ball. They've exploded offensively, but you look at it, this team really goes over in divisional matchups. I don't know what it is, but when they play the Raptors, the Nets, the Sixers, the Knicks, the teams in their division, they have another level of their 3-point metrics just go up in divisional games this season. It's plain as day. You can go look it up yourself. And you know, when they go on the road outside of the division, a bit slower pace, the offensive efficiency comes down just a bit, but that stifling defense is still there. This is a big fade of the Detroit Pistons today. Offensively, the Pistons can still cover this game though, because of how, you know, this is a large spread to lay on the road, especially in an early game. I believe ATS in these early spots, the Celtics are under 500 ATS. I think they're 5 out of 11, 5 and 6 in their last 11 early matchups. So it is a slight edge. There's a slight edge with historical precedent to the Pistons covering this scenario, but they're not getting a dollar of my money. They're not getting a dollar of my money today. My cap on this game is going to be the under. Yeah, no funny business with Ja yet. I'm keeping my eye on that one. I made a bet last night on the Grizzlies money line. It's not going to be a popular pick. You know, the Grizzlies will always be popular because of what they've been doing this season. The Grizzlies will always be popular, but I do think that tonight is a night to snatch some value on that side of things. And you know, let's try to pick up another win. We can actually talk about that game now before I go into the other games on the schedule. We do have the Grizzlies and the Bulls. This game you can consider this game to be a super matchup. You know, the Nets and the Bucks will be on national TV tonight. The NBA would probably have loved to have DeRozan and Ja Morant in their current form and their current popularity in the national TV spot. No disrespect to Giannis and the Nets. It's probably going to bring in good ratings as well. But this Memphis Grizzlies team is 18-10 against teams above 500. They're going up against a Bulls team that's 22-10 at home ATS this season. This is a pretty even matchup when it comes to against the spread metrics on paper. But, you know, I give a strong rebounding edge, a strong hustle edge. I still give it to the Grizzlies in this game. They're coming off of 2 losses. This Bulls team it's very difficult to bet against this Bulls team. I think I've only bet against the Bulls once all season. You know, looking for any blemish, any sense of weakness in their ATS record. You know, they are only 9-11 in the role of an underdog. They opened as underdogs, but now they're slight favorites. The market is definitely taking John Morant, his minor injury, into account in the market. And then the Bulls have just been winning in dramatic fashion. DeMar DeRozan is getting big time MVP publicity. So, for me, I bet personally, I bet 1.5 units on the Grizzlies money line last night. You're getting better odds if you like the Grizzlies tonight, but this team, you have players like Patrick Beverley giving them bulletin board material. I think this Grizzlies team is going to come out pissed off tonight. We're going to have a big time playoff atmosphere, and I lean towards the slight dog tonight. Go look at what Patrick Beverley said on Twitter. It's still on his page. Go look it up. If we can see it, you don't think the Grizzlies are? Almost back to Desmond Bane, bro. Almost. I'm not touching any team totals these days. I actually believe that for some of these team totals that the odds makers are like they're undervaluing the explosive nature of the modern NBA offense. When it comes overs on team totals are hitting at a very, very, very high clip. A very high clip over the last 3 weeks. And I just believe that with the modern NBA, the way the game's being played right now, these odds makers just don't know what they're doing when it comes to the team total market. Yeah, I like the Grizzlies tonight. Full steam ahead. Full steam ahead on the Memphis Grizzlies money line. For me, no props in that one, although I do have a couple of players circled I have like 25 players circled for props over the next 3 to 4 days. 25 plus players. We're going crazy. Oh, also for non-US viewers, there's a free $50 bet, completely risk-free from SportX.bet in the video description. Make sure you take advantage of that. All right, so the Hawks, yeah, that's my stance on the Grizzlies game for tonight. I just feel, also look at the Grizzlies as well. They're in the West. They're perceived to be stronger in the West, although in my opinion, the East has been a bit stronger and deeper this season. You look at the record of the Grizzlies; they'd be first place in the East. I respect the Bulls highly, especially if you're in my group chat. A couple of people in the video chat right now are in my group chat. You guys know, HK, you guys already know the Bulls have been making us bread all season. I'm expecting a big time atmosphere tonight. And I think that the hustle metrics, you look at the rebounding edge as well for the Grizzlies, even though they've been losing over the last 2 games, over the last 3 games, the Grizzlies have been out rebounding what the Bulls have been putting forth by 10 rebounds per game. Offensive statistics, offensive rebounding as well. My bad. I got distracted by something in the chat. There's spam in the chat. So, yeah, quick thoughts on these games. I just wanted to come on and recap my 2 picks from the other video. Make sure you guys turn notifications on the channel so you don't miss whenever we drop a video. I have college basketball and soccer picks coming as well. I'm actually in a dogfight in soccer right now, but I've won 14 of my last 16 soccer bets. Let's try to keep it going. You can't control red cards. The Raptors and the Hawks tonight. Raptors coming off a back-to-back. The odds makers definitely misjudged. They mispriced the Raptors last night without OG Anunoby, the best defender on the team. It's a different style of play when OG's out of the lineup. We need the Raptors to regain that confidence and that form that they had when OG was out of the lineup. When he was out of the lineup, they started to play better towards the end of the stretch, but it took a while for the team to figure out how to play without such a superior perimeter defender. Against this Hawks team, though, we're getting to the point where the Hawks, it's going to be playoff basketball on a nightly basis. Playoff basketball on a nightly basis for the Hawks because they've dug themselves such a large hole in the Eastern Conference playoff standings. When it comes to toughness, grit, tenacity, the intangibles, I give the Raptors the edge tonight, but without OG, I'll be staying on the sidelines. I do think the Raptors have what it takes to win the first half in this game, though. I think the Raptors have what it takes to win the first half in this game on the second night of a back-to-back. The Memphis Grizzlies, guys, I'm just getting messages. People are telling me. A lot of people I know bet the Bulls. I respect the sharp minds that I know. I respect that they bet the Bulls, and but we're not going head to head. I have to tell everyone that my reward is counting my cash at the end of the night. folding it up and throwing it in the vault with all the rest. I'm not going head to head with anyone else. I'm not going head to head with any casual or recreational or professional sports bettor. There's only one. I have tunnel vision, trying to stack as much money as possible, okay, and do it in a systematic manner as well. People are messaging me telling me that the Grizzlies just flipped the favorites. I like the Grizzlies. Hopefully they don't venture into -120, -130 range, but I really want John Morant to play today. If he does not play, the pick will fall flat on its face. But just getting back into this Hawks game, I'm not touching this one. The Hawks, though, I do expect a much better effort from them in the fourth quarter. I lean towards the Raptors early in this game. The Hawks are essentially playing playoff basketball on a nightly basis, and nothing for me on the Cavs and the Wizards either. I'm watching that one. I have about 3 players circled for props activity in that game as well. We know that the Wizards were in a big matchup last night, double overtime, historic matchup for their franchise in terms of scoring output, 150 something to 150 something. But let's see if those tired legs really do carry over to the second night. This Cavs team is a bit lacking in guard play. It's a sneaky Wizards team, but they have a substantial edge on the front line. And I may add props in this game actually later in the day. Make sure you check me out on Twitter at MyGuyKnowsAGuy. No play for me in the Milwaukee Bucks Brooklyn Nets game, and no play for me in the Denver Nuggets Sacramento Kings game either. I wish everyone the best of luck. We're going to have another live stream session as well later on today. You guys turn notifications on the channel. I will be going live before the evening game. Just wanted to come on here and touch up on the Celtics and Pistons game in particular. Oh, for sure, bro. 100%. I upgraded cars, Akbar. I'm gonna show you my car in about. I'm gonna show you my. I'm gonna show you what I did. I'm gonna show you what I did in the chat, bro. You have to treat yourself every now and then, bro. Every 2 or 3 years, treat yourself big. Oh, that's about it for me. Memphis Grizzlies money line, everyone. Detroit Pistons, Boston Celtics under 215.5. I took that last night, but I still like under 216.5. I understand if you're scared because of the recent offensive performance of the Boston Celtics. I understand if you're scared at the recent ATS performance of the Chicago Bulls. These are 2 very scary teams to fade when it comes to offensive metrics. But I went the other way today, and yes, I will be sharing college basketball picks. The picks that I have are for the evening games, though. The picks that I have in the college basketball games are for the evening games. Check me out on Twitter. I will be sharing them. And things look promising for tomorrow already. Stay positive, everyone. I have 1.5 units on the Memphis Grizzlies money line, and I have a half unit on the Celtics and the Pistons under. Let's continue to crush everything.